It lies between India and China. Nearest to India and long ruled by Great Britain is Burma, a country that gained its independence in 1948. Two great rivers flow through Burma, the Irrawaddy, almost through its center, and the Salween, which cuts across its eastern flank. On these rivers and their tributaries, the people of Burma depend for much of their life, where great quantities of rice are grown. The rivers are not used for transportation alone. They provide water for drinking and cooking, fish to eat, and play an important part in the lives of the people. The Burmese people, who are very clean, bathe and wash their clothes along the banks. The clothes are first soaked, then beaten with paddles. The cool water feels good to Funjin and his son, since most of Burma has a very warm climate with two distinct seasons, rainy and dry. The fish net is always brought along on the days when the family visits the river. Although throwing the net looks easy, it requires a good deal of practice. If he's lucky, Funjin will catch enough fish to last until the next trip down to the river. Fish are important in providing protein in the diet, which consists almost entirely of rice. Funjin and his family have their own small rice field, or paddy. When it is harvest time, everyone helps, because for the people of Burma, rice is the staff of life, their most precious commodity, since they so completely depend upon it for their existence. Some of the rice is used to make a kind of rice milk. It is mixed with a few drops of water and then ground between two stones. While not as nourishing as real milk, which is difficult to obtain, the rice milk does make a fair substitute. At mealtime, the family gathers on the open porch of their house. Meals are taken at about 10 in the morning, 5 in the afternoon, and 9 at night. All meals consist mainly of rice, which is eaten with the fingers of the right hand. Bamboo grows wild and very quickly in the humid forests around Funjin's village. The trees grow in dense thickets with a great deal of foliage. Funjin and his neighbors use the bamboo to build houses and furniture, and are even able to sell some of it. The foliage is trimmed from the trunk and made ready for use in anything from a house in Burma to a chair in your own backyard. The roof of Funjin's house is made from thatched palm leaves. He uses the tall bamboo grass from the forest to weave mats. These mats are used as the floor in his house. He takes pride in weaving them neatly and firmly. The thatch on the roof must be replaced at regular intervals, since the hot sun and torrential rains tend to rot it. This is a job for the women of the house. The tropical forest provides nearly all that Funjin requires with which to live. With the aid of his water buffalo, hard timber, which he has cut some time ago, is hauled to a pond. Here it is allowed to soak in water for an entire season. If the logs were not soaked, termites would quickly eat through them. They are then pulled out to be dried in the sun before being used or sold. The hard tropical wood serves them well. The loom is made from it. Funjin's wife weaves cloth for a lungi, which is the long skirt that both men and women wear.
of Ping, in the remote Shan states of Burma, has had little contact with the outside world. Its people can neither read nor write, and only words like sun, and rain, and rice have meaning. The Shans live close to nature, and nature can sometimes be cruel and selfish in providing and monstrous in afflicting. But the new rice was good. There is special reason for celebration. They are a people easily given to laughter and mirth. Today, Inan, daughter of Ivo and Iwa, will marry. There is much for a mother to say, and a daughter to hear. Isaac has waited long to take a wife, and he looks forward to a life with Inan, his house, and many sons to help him in that evening. The best of the vegetables and spices go into the curry, and many more hands than needed are here to help. Under the charge of the most skilled weaver, the rice storage basket nears completion. A present from Ping to Inan and Itip. With their drums and gongs and voices, the bachelors of Ping come to serenade the bride. But for such a privilege as looking upon Inan, they must pay. And the women are stern in their demands. A favorite game. She must take a chance. She must confide in someone. It is the numbness she feels in her arms and the spot on her shoulder that makes the fear so.
Dr. Colombo also cares for the people of the town of Kengtung, which is the capital and market center for this whole vast area of the eastern Shan states. Every morning at 7, he visits the dispensary. The people arrive before... In Kengtung town, there are many things to look at. Certainly, his most difficult single problem is providing rice for the colony. There is a bit of help from the government, but hardly a tenth of what is needed.
Every 5 days, the bazaar is held in the nearby town of Kengtung. Here, Funjan is able to use the money from the sale of his surplus rice and forest products. Various foods, drugs, yarn, cloth, and implements are sold in the bazaar. Many of the people come not only to buy, but to sell their products as well. Delicacies are tempting to the visitors. Funjan and his family cannot resist buying the fish cakes, which are boiled in fat and wrapped in a palm leaf. It's pleasant for the family to stroll through the town on these market days and perhaps visit the Buddhist temple. The people of Burma are predominantly of the Buddhist religion. Shrines and temples can be found in all the towns and villages. Kengtung is a very old town. This area of Burma is still ruled by an active prince called the Soboji. Many different tribes are gathered under his rule. Belong to the Ika tribe. They enjoy dancing in this circular formation for many hours at a time. The Shans have their own special dance. The costumes and movements represent birds and animals with which they are familiar and which they sometimes worship. The knife dance is performed only by the most skilled and respected men of the village. There is a good school in the town of Kengtung where children learn English as well as Burmese. English was introduced into Burma when it was a British colony and is still spoken commonly among educated people. Not all of the children in Burma have a chance to go to school, but even so, the children of Burma are comparatively well off. The country is not overpopulated. These youngsters will find enough food to eat and jobs to work at. Nomadic tribes, some are mountain tribes, some are Malays, others are Indian, Chinese, and mixtures of the three. Able country, able to provide a better life for its people and take its place among the other growing new nations of Southeast Asia.